Hey Saiko! Are you ready to race across worlds with Sonic and friends? And to see if the blue blur can compete with the red plumber? Then let's review Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. There's no overarching story in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. It's just a kart racing game that's all about the race. The Cross Worlds portion refers to the nifty little gameplay gimmick of instantly teleporting to different race worlds by driving through large golden rings, much like in the Sonic movie.
Coming through! Soccer blood!
It's a fun way to organically change up the tracks as you barrel through them at top speeds. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is a kart racing game that follows the tried and true blueprint of Mario Kart. You can race for first across more than half a dozen Grand Prix Cups and also complete a variety of racing challenges in the race park. Despite the many similarities to Mario Kart, Sonic Racing does do a few things to differentiate itself from the beloved Nintendo series. For one, it has a rival system. Whenever you start a Grand Prix, you're challenged by a rival whom you're meant to outrace, even if you don't come in first overall. I'm not exactly sure what the point of the rival system is other than to provide a bare-bones story gimmick to the race, since each rival is already a playable character.
Don't get distracted, handsome. We're here to race, so keep your eyes on the road.
I think it would have been cooler to make the rivals unplayable unless you defeated them in a Grand Prix Cup. The initial set of playable characters could have just been Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and maybe even Rose. And then, as you defeat each rival one by one, you grow the playable roster. I feel that would have given the system more meat to its bones than it currently has. But there's more than the rival system that helps Sonic Racing stand out from Mario Kart. And to go into those differences, I'm going to break things down section by section. So let's begin. What would a racing game be without solid driving controls? It'd be nothing, that's what. Well, fortunately, the driving in Sonic Racing feels pretty good.
Pretty good! Pretty good.
99.99% of all my kart racing experience comes from Mario Kart, including the recently released Mario Kart World. So when I jumped into Sonic Racing, I did so with a little trepidation. I assumed it would feel like a lesser version of Mario Kart, and at first, it did. You see, Sonic Racing has the ability to drift across corners just like in Mario Kart. However, in Mario Kart, when you initiate a drift, your vehicle hops at the beginning. That little hop helps with timing the drift and even enhances the feeling of jamming into a corner. Sonic Racing does not have that hop. Hitting the drift button just initiates the drift without any startup motion. At first, I thought this was a flaw in Sonic Racing. Drifts didn't feel as impactful because without the hop, it just didn't feel right. However, as I continued to race level after level, and as I perfected my technique, I soon forgot about the Mario hop and recalibrated to the Sonic Racing style, and it felt great. Not only does the drift have its own Sonic feel to it, but when drifting, a charge bar appears. And the longer you drift, the more it charges, and that equates to a larger boost when you exit the drift. I know Mario Kart has a similar mechanic with the sparks under the kart tires, but I like the charge bar. It makes it clear how much boost you've generated, and it can be charged 3 times over, or even 4 times with an upgrade. Another mechanic that is like Mario Kart but Sonicified are the in-air tricks. Instead of being able to do 1 or 2 little tricks, like in Mario Kart, in Sonic Racers you can go nuts with them. And the more tricks you execute, the greater your boost once you land on the ground. So while driving does feel different than Mario Kart, it's by no means worse. It's just as fun and just as hectic once you get into the Sonic groove. I can see people enjoying it even more than Mario Kart. As is tradition with kart racing games, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds has its set of racing items you can pick up and use to gain an advantage in the race. It very much follows the formula set by Mario Kart. It has projectiles you can launch forward or backwards to knock into opponents to slow them down. It has booster items that give you a quick speed bump to pass racers or cut through corners. Basically, it has an equivalent to most any item you'll find in any Mario Kart game, which is good from a general gameplay perspective, but it also means the items are pretty uninspired. The only semi-cool twist is that some projectiles are heat-seeking, like the red shells in Mario Kart, but you have to manually lock onto your opponent first. It can be pretty cool to pick up an item, hunt down your opponent to get them into your reticle and lock on for a shot. Also, most of the projectiles have a distance limit, so even if you successfully locked onto your target, if they're too far ahead, you still won't hit them. It can be frustrating when your opponent is out of range, but inversely, it's pretty nice feeling a little more protected when you're the one who's off in the distance. I think it's a good trade-off and is a fun gameplay mechanic that helps separate itself, in a good way, from Mario Kart. There are a good variety of vehicles to choose from in Sonic Racing. Plenty are unlocked right away, but more can be unlocked by completing challenges and races. I've never been a big fan of how the cars are designed in any of the Sonic Racing games, and Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is no exception. I just don't like that they're closer to miniature cars than go-karts. I assume Sega did this to differentiate itself from the kart racing king that is the Mario Kart series, but I think it's a bad design choice. Instead of being different for different's sake, they could have kept with the go-kart theme and just designed awesome looking karts. Karts that actually fit the theme of the characters. Instead, it looks like Sonic is just driving a generic convertible.
Bogus.
But ignoring the fact that I think most of the vehicles look ugly, I do appreciate the customization features the game has to offer. Not only can you apply a totally custom color scheme to your favorite vehicle, but you can modify the build of the car and its stats by changing up the front half, the rear half, or the tires. The ability to mix and match fronts with different ends is actually a really cool idea. My only complaint is that you can't match the front of any car with any rear. You can only swap amongst its own variants. So I can swap between different versions of Sonic's racing car, but I can't mix and match Sonic's car with, say, Tails or Knuckles. I feel it would have been way more awesome to let us go hog wild mixing and matching parts and letting the stats do what they do. But that being said, I do appreciate the flexibility they gave us to make our vehicles our own. Sonic Racing has a fun way to modify your race with little upgrades called gadgets. Each gadget comes in one of three sizes: small, medium, or large. A small gadget offers a small improvement to the system it's upgrading, and a medium applies a slightly better boost, while the large offers the largest gains. Now, their size isn't only used to determine how potent they are as upgrades, but it also affects the amount of gadgets you can install at once. You see, you're only given a max of 6 gadget slots. You start off with just 2, but as you win races you'll earn points to unlock more. Therefore, you'll have to decide how you want to spread out your gadget allotment. Small gadgets take up 1 slot, mediums take up 2, and large gadgets take up an entire row at 3 slots. It's up to you to decide if you want 6 small upgrades or 2 large ones, or some combination in between, and after fiddling around with them, you'll soon find what gadgets best complement your racing style. The sheer amount of available gadgets is also something to admire. When you start the game, there are only a handful to choose from, but as you win races and earn points, you'll unlock row after row of new gadgets, big and small. In my humble opinion, the graphics of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is where the game shines the least. I'm not saying it looks bad, I just think much of it looks generic. I think Sega never really figured out how to stylistically bring Sonic's world to 3D. I didn't feel much of the worlds in CrossWorlds felt very Sonic-y. Some were nice, some weren't as nice, but unlike Nintendo, which has a very strong design language with the Mushroom Kingdom, the Haunted Mansions, and Bowser's Castle, Sega never really built a fully fleshed out Sonic world, and in my opinion, it shows in the level designs. I enjoyed my time with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. When I first jumped in, it had a large Mario Kart shaped mountain to climb, but it climbed it. Once I got comfortable with the controls, I quickly adjusted to Sonic's karting ways, and I had a blast. It's a fun game and a solid entry in the kart racing genre, so I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5. The levels are fun to race with plenty of shortcuts and hidden paths to discover. The gadget system is a really nice way to modify the game to suit your driving style, and the kart customization options are great. But the visuals don't scream Sonic to me and oftentimes feel a little too generic, and the rival system, while a nice idea, feels undercooked. Racing to unlock the rival as a playable character would have made that system more engaging, however, as it is right now, it feels more like a gimmick than anything else. Sonic Racing is the first kart racing game I thoroughly played outside of the Mario Kart series. My excitement, followed by my immediate disappointment in Mario Kart World, sparked in me a desire to find the ultimate kart racer. But is Sonic Racing's solid driving gameplay and fun new mechanics like the gadget system enough to make it the king of kart racing games? Well, no, not in my book. Mario Kart World introduced open world gameplay with its free roam mode, but Nintendo dropped the ball by making their world a rather empty one. Well, I had hoped that Sonic Racing CrossWorlds would also introduce an open world mode that would actually do what Nintendo didn't.
What Nintendo don't.
But not only is Sega not doing what Nintendo don't, they didn't even try. There's no open world gameplay in Sonic Racing. And maybe it's not fair for me to judge a game for not having a feature it never advertised to have, but I'm doing it anyways. If you didn't want me to think about open world kart racing, especially after Mario Kart World, then don't put worlds in your title. It might be petty of me to think this, but it is what it is. While Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is a solid entry amongst kart racers, it fails to evolve the genre in any meaningful way. All I want is a Forza Horizon style open world game with challenges, quests, and Mario Kart racing battles and antics. Is that too much to ask? If you're looking for a fun kart racing game to play alone or with friends, you'll have a good time with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. However, if you're looking for an evolution to the genre like I am, you'll have to look elsewhere. In fact, I'm gonna dive into another kart racer I've heard good things about. It's a little older, but apparently it has a few tricks up its sleeves that are worth checking out. Stay tuned for that review as I continue my quest to find the best of the best in kart racers.